Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. Good Erev Shabbos. We are about ready to begin our Erev Shabbos party. All right, everyone, a good Erev Shabbos. Thank you so much for joining us as we do each and every Erev Shabbos to be able to celebrate and welcome in this week, not only Shabbos, but to celebrate and welcome in Yontif as well. I want to thank our dear friends, Mendy and Tzipora Fishman, who sponsored Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. Bas Tzipora Fredo. Today, as I said, is not only Erev Shabbos Kodesh, it's Erev Yontif. It is Erev, the holy holiday of Sukkot. We have the double Erev and the double Kedusha that we are going to welcome in starting tonight. So excited, really incredible. I want to share a couple quick thoughts to usher us into the holiness, this dual, double holiness that we are about to, Amir Hashem, encounter. So first of all, Shabbos and Yontif, Rabbi Soloveitchik said, are juxtaposed in terms of their Kedusha and our experience. And this year, the way Sukkot falls, the fact that tonight is both Shabbos and Yontif means that we're able to tap into both simultaneously. We're able to experience both in a most holy way. What is the difference between the two? Shabbos is Kavua v'Kayim. Shabbos is established. Count 6 days, and the seventh day is automatically Shabbos. Each and every week, nothing we have to do. Just look at your calendar. Just look at the date. The seventh day is automatically Shabbos each and every week. Nothing that we do. Yontif, however, in contradistinction, there is something fundamental that we do. Mekadesh Yisrael v'Hazmanim. Yontif doesn't happen on its own. It's through Beis Din being Mekadesh HaChodesh. It's when Beis Din receives the testimony regarding the new moon, and they accept that testimony, they sanctify the new moon, and they establish the calendar. And that power, that potency, that license to establish the calendar is incredibly powerful. It means they determine the holidays. Whether by accident they miscalculate or whether intentionally manipulate the calendar. But the Chacham have the ability to absolutely manipulate and move the calendar to whatever will work for them. That's why Shabbos is Mekadesh HaShabbos. That happens automatically. Yontif is Mekadesh Yisrael v'Hazmanim. Yontif, God sanctified the Jewish people, and the Jewish people sanctify Yontif. So first of all, there's that dual relationship, or that dual energy, the two drivers of the holiness, the sanctity. Shabbos and Yontif coming from two different directions. Shabbos comes from above, and Yontif comes from below. And tonight, tomorrow, when we experience and tap into the intersection of the two, we are actually combining heaven and earth. Shabbos, which comes from above, Mekadesh HaShabbos, and Yontif, which is Mekadesh Yisrael v'Hazmanim, which comes from below. We are combining, we are at the point, the kiss between heaven and earth. When we sit in our sukkah, when we make Kiddush, when we say the Shechianu tonight, we are getting ready to be at that exact point, at that exact intersection, very, very holy. Rabbi Soloveitchik said further another point. He said, Shabbos, HaKadosh Baruch Hu visits us. Yontif, we visit him. Yontif, we have a obligation. The Shalosh Regalim, the three festival holidays, we have an obligation of Aliyah L'Regel. We go to Yerushalayim, we go to the Makam HaMikdash, we go to the Beis HaMikdash, we offer certain karbanos. Yontif is the rendezvous between us and God, but we make the journey to be with him. We are in his home, we are in his turf, we are in his territory, we are guests of his. Shabbos, again in distinction, he comes to visit us. Shabbos, he's our guest. He's on our turf. He's on our territory, which explains the minhag that many have, that Friday night we sing Shalom Aleichem, but we don't sing Shalom Aleichem on Yontif. The Malachim are not coming to visit us. We don't sing Lechadodi, Likras Kala, Panei Shabbos Nekabla. We're not receiving, we're not accepting on Yontif. Shabbos, Hashem visits us. Yontif, we visit him. There's these, again, two different venues for the rendezvous between us and God. Who's playing host, who's guest? At which point are we making that connection? Tonight, this year, the way Yontif falls, again, the intersection of the two, Shabbos and Yontif, we are simultaneously guests in each other's homes. And there are different minhagim that reflect this, not for now, but Nusach Ashkenaz says an abbreviated Kabbalah Shabbos. We don't sing Lechadodi tonight. Many of the minhag, I confirmed with my father today, that our minhag, which is brought down in many svarim, that we don't sing Shalom Aleichem or Eishes Chal, we don't give out brachas when Friday night is Yontif. We move directly and treat it like a Yontif. The theme of Yontif that we're visiting Hashem supersedes the theme of Shabbos that he's visiting us. And yet others say, no, Others sing a full Kabbalah Shabbos. Others sing a full Lechadodi. Others offer a full Shalom Aleichem Yisrael and Brachos. These different minhagim reflect the balance or the tension between the two different venues of the relationship that we're having with Hashem in this way. So all of that is point number one. We're turning this Friday into not only Erev Shabbos, but Erev Shabbos, which is Erev Yontif. The dual, double Kedusha, our neshama is extra expanded, extra on fire, extra present, extra well-rested, extra alive, extra informed, extra inspired. It is all those things. The Sfas Emes, the Heilige Sfas Emes says that Sukkot is the Yontif with his Shefa Bracha of Yediyah. Pasuk says, "L'man yedu dorosechem, ki v'sukkos hashafti es bnei Yisrael." You should know, L'man yedu. And the Bach famously says that even though ordinarily you do not need to be mindful of the reason for the mitzvah to fulfill the mitzvah, Sukkah is an exception because the pasuk says L'man yedu. You need to know what to think about. The famous machlokas. Or do we sit in the sukkah to commemorate Sukkos Mamish, that we sat in actual booths and huts when we left Egypt? Or Ananei Kavod, the fact that there is this divine cloud, there is this divine protection which hovers from above. But Laman Yedus, the Sfas Emes says, it's the Yontif of Yediyah. We can have knowledge. We walk into Sukkos. Shabbos, we are immersed in Shabbos. Sukkah, we are immersed in the Sukkah. Our entire being is invested, immersed in it. And we are able to have this yediyah, this knowledge. We're confused, we're uncertain, we're doubtful all week long, all year long. But Sukkos, we bask in the shade, in the shadow of Hashem. We feel His love, we feel His embrace. We know it's Laman Yedu. We can have a yediyah. We can have not a belief, not a leap of faith, but we can have a yediyah. We can know that there's Hashem, and we can know that He loves us. Many explain so beautifully when we sit in that sukkah. The halach is it has to have two walls and a little bit, two full walls and a little bit. And it's brought down that the two walls and a little bit represent the arm. One wall, two wall, and the little bit is the embrace that one can feel. When you sit in the sukkah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is extending His arm, and He's putting us for one wall, two wall, and a little bit. The feeling is you look at that sukkah and you feel, I am in the arms, I'm in the hug, I'm in the embrace of Hashem. Not the tshuva me'yira of the Yamim Naraim, but the tshuva me'ava that Hashem loves me. All that's point number two. Point number three, to turn this Friday into Erev Shabbos, Erev Yontif, to get ready to be able to both visit Hashem and have Him visit us simultaneously, to have the Kedusha of what comes automatically and the Kedusha of what we create, we calculate, and the calendar that we manipulate, to be able to have it all simultaneously. The Vilna Gaon quotes, it's a Medrash Pliya, it's said also in the name of the Vilna Gaon, it's brought down in Parshas Chayei Sarah, that the Vilna Gaon said, Avram Avinu kept the mitzvah of Sukkah. How do we know Avram Avinu kept the mitzvah of Sukkah? Because the pasuk says, state in pasuk, Vashem berach es Avram, Vashem berach Avram, bakol. That word bakol, the Vilna Gaon says, is an acronym. We have three psukim that capture or communicate, that transmit the obligation to sit in the sukkah. One is basukos, Teshvu Shivas Yamim. Another is Kol Ezrach Yeshu Basukos. And the third, Laman Yedu Dorosechem. So the Rashi Tevos of those three, Basukos, Kol, and Laman is Bakol. Hashem Berach es Avram, Bakol. Hashem blessed Avram with everything. Avram sat in the sukkah. But there's something much deeper. This Bakol that Avram experienced, Hashem blessed Avram with Kol. Whenever we bench, we say Bakol, Mikol, Kol. Bakol is Avram, Mikol is Yitzchak, and Kol is Yaakov. We have three psukim, and they communicate that Hashem gave this blessing to Avram of Kol, and that notion of Kol, which we'll define in a moment, Avram had, he transmitted to Yitzchak, Yitzchak gave it to Yaakov, and Yaakov invested and bequeathed it to all of us. We have that sense of Kol. Hashem had the Bakol, Avram had the Bakol rather, he gave it to Yitzchak, gave it to Yaakov, who gave it to all of us. How does that connect to Sukkot? What in the world does Bakol have to do with the holiday of Sukkot? And the answer, I think, is very simple. What is the notion that we go out to the Sukkah? Tonight, tomorrow, Yontif, the Yontif of Sukkot, the Yontif of Shabbos. What is the idea that we're going out to the Sukkah? What is the connect to Bakol, feeling that we're blessed with everything? The notion is that we're going out to the shadow and the shade of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You see, when a Jew lives in his own home or her own home, they look around and they say, this is mine. I acquired it. I built it. I rent it. I paid for it. These possessions, these things, I worked hard for them. They're mine. We're prideful. We either take credit where it's not due, or maybe we're jealous or envious of what others have, or maybe we're dissatisfied and we think we need more, but we think, I don't have everything. Esav said, Yeshli Rav. Yaakov says, Yeshli Kol. I have everything. I have everything. Esav said, yeah, what I have is pretty good. I got a bunch of wives. I have a lot of possessions. I have a lot of things. I have a lot. Yeshli Rav, I have a lot. Yaakov said, whatever little or however much I have, by definition, Yeshli Kol. I got that from my father who got it from his father. And they all left it to us. That a Jew, no matter what's going on around us, no matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles, no matter the pressures, no matter what is going on around us, Yeshli Kol. Hashem Berach es Avram Bakol. Bakol Mikol Kol. And which holiday reminds us, which holiday reinforces that, which holiday communicates and supports us, strengthens us, that I have everything. Hashem Berach as me, Bakol. I go outside to my sukkah and I remember that what matters is not my house, what matters is my home. A house are the four walls, the brick and mortar. A house are the wood. A house are its dimensions. A house is its decorations. A home are the people in it, the relationships, the memories, the experiences. So I leave my diras keva, I leave my permanent structure in order to go outside and to remember this little flimsy hut that requires imagination to even think it's a house, this little diras arai, this temporary flimsy hut that only will exist due to the graciousness of God, this diras arai, I have everything. Hashem Beirach Avram Bakol. Now this is a yontif, we need it more than ever. We don't have our ordinary guests. We have the Ushpizin. The Ushpizin, they don't have to distance, and they don't have to wear masks. They don't have to stay away. They're not under quarantine. The Holy Seven Shepherds, they come, all Sukkos, they're not subject to the rules of Corona. The way they arrive and the way that they're present, they're not subject to Corona. So these guests take on a greater significance in a year in which we're unable to host guests. In a year in which our sukkah feels emptier than usual, it needs to be filled even more with the light of our love, the light of our Torah, the light of our faith, and the light of our knowledge, Laman Yedu, that those holy shepherds are there tonight, beginning with Avram. We're going to welcome Avram into our sukkah tonight, and we're going to welcome his Vashem Berachas Avram Bakol. We're going to welcome his sense of whatever I have everything. Because even if I sit in a sukkah all by myself, if I merit to be alive and healthy enough to sit in a sukkah, Bakol, I have everything. Could I want more? Absolutely. Should I strive and be ambitious for more? Absolutely. But at the same time, I should be satisfied. Eza Asher Sameach Bechelko, to realize Bakol, I have everything I need. Vashem Berachas Avram Bakol, Basukos Kol Lama'an. The sukkah is the yontif of Bakol. I leave my diras keva. I leave the permanent structure, which I have the illusion of thinking that I acquired, and I have the illusion of thinking will protect me. And I go out to my diras arai. I go outside and I remember that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the source of absolutely everything, and I reconnect with him. So my Holy Turn Friday into Erev Shabbos, friends, this Friday is not only Erev Shabbos, it's Erev the Heilige Yontif of Sukkos, to sit in the tzeil, in the shadow, in the shade of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We should be Zocha, Mekadesh Yisrael Vazmanim, and Mekadesh Shabbos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sanctifying Shabbos, and we are sanctifying the calendar. We are going to visit him, Aliyah L'Regel, and he is visiting us, Pnei Shabbos, the Kabbalah of Shabbos. The intersection of the two should enrich and elevate and strengthen all of us. And lastly, we should feel blessed to be Bakol, that whatever we have what's meant for us. We have everything we need. We have everything that's by design. We have everything that is from Hashem. We, like Avram, Hashem Beirach as Avram Bakol, Avram's visiting us tonight. He's our guest in our sukkah. And even if there are other empty chairs that we wish we could be with children or grandchildren, we wish we were with neighbors or friends, we wish guests in other people's sukkah. Nevertheless, we have Avram. Every one of us have Avram. And if we have Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, if we have the holy shepherds and we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the ultimate shepherd, then Bakol, then in fact we have everything. Wishing everyone a beautiful Yontif, a beautiful Shabbos, a good Kvittel, that we should be Zocher, we should merit to look up at the Tzchach and to realize that we, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the shade has to come from the Tzchach. Derech Gidulo, the way that we grow, it has to come from that which comes from Hashem. If the shade comes from the walls, it's not a kosher sukkah. It has to come from the Tzchach. It has to come from the tzeil of Amunah, the tzeil of the Ribbon Shalom, the tzeil of Hashem. Holy Joey, you want to leave us with a niggin? Let me unmute you. Can I unmute you? Can you unmute yourself?
Hey,
Holy Joey, give us a little something.
I'll tell you a niggin that I wrote last year when I was putting up the schach. It goes like this.
Yeah.
Amanu yakim lavavanu Esukas David anaifa vavale Oyarachamanu yakim lavavanu Esukas David anaifa vavale. Yorachamonu Yokim Lovonu. Esukas David Anoifole. Yorachamonu Yokim Lovonu. Esukas David Anoifole. Thank you, Hashem.
Gavaldik, Gavaldik. Thank you, Holy Joey Newcomb. Thank you for being on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for singing. Thank you for lifting us. Everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay holy. Have a beautiful Shabbos and have a beautiful Yontif.